so the rear brake pads are very simple on these cars. All we're basically going to do is we're going to remove this little clip right here. We're going to push out this pin, and then this pin is what's holding on the little spring clip right here, and then we should be able to just push in the brake pads and then pull them out. I'm also going to be replacing the wear sensor, which is right here, and if you follow it along, it comes out and plugs right into the back right here. Might be kind of hard to see. So we'll go ahead and unplug that and get a new one installed. When I did the other side, I failed to realize that both sides each have their own wear sensor. A lot of vehicles, they only have one sensor for the rear and then one wear sensor for the front. But this side apparently uses a wear sensor on both sides. So that sucked because then I had to basically prolong this job. But anyways, let's go ahead and start by getting this sensor undone. Okay, so we can see it right here. So this little metal spring clip just pops right out. There's two tabs on the sides, but you just lift them up right here. You just lift them up and then this little clip should pop up. So with that out, we'll get to the rear pad sensor, which is right here. It's this back one. So we'll pull this guy out. Okay, and then it is, can't quite see it, but it is attached to the knuckle. There's a little spot here, so we'll just undo it just like so. Pop it out there. And then there's a little plastic clip right here, which is attached to the hard line. These are kind of harder to get off. You can just sort of stick a flathead screwdriver in here and then just kind of pry this clip open, just like so. Yep, just like that. And then that should allow you to pull the harness out, just like so. So now we can go ahead and pull this clip out and grab some needle nose pliers right here and just yank this little clip out. Okay, and just make sure you don't lose it. So now with that clip out, we can go ahead and pop this pin out. This pin is only being held in with a little bit of friction, and then that little clip. So just make sure you know how the harness goes. So it goes just like this. There's a little clip here to hold the slack, and then it comes out on the inside. So I just have this little punch right here. It's a 1/4 inch punch and a little hammer. So we're just going to take the punch and then hammer out this pin just like so. Should come out relatively easily. And my punch won't go all the way because it sort of bevels out. So from here you can just kind of hammer it out like so. Be careful. Okay, so that is now out and the clip is released. So we can go and pull this guy out. So now we have our spring clip. We can detach the harness. We'll go ahead and put that out of there. Okay, now we can get the spring clip out of the way. Okay, so the spring clip right here. Get that out of the way, and now we can pull these pads out. Chances are they're going to be in there up against the rotor because the caliper pistons are going to be pushed out. So it's going to take a little bit of strength, but I can easily just push these pads and push the pistons back in. If you're having trouble, you could use a screwdriver and just kind of pry up against stuff, but I find it pretty easy to just push things out of the way. So I'm just gonna go like this, and I'm gonna push it in as far as I can go. Push it in. Like I said, it takes a little bit of effort, but you should be able to do it. So you don't necessarily need to push the pistons in all the way. As you can see, I can already remove the pad, but since you are going to be installing some brand new pads, you're probably gonna need to push the pistons back as far as possible. So just keep pushing. Shouldn't be too bad. Should be pretty close. Okay, that's pushed in all the way, and on this side, you're just gonna pull it. Okay, so now you can go ahead and take these pads out, and just remember the orientation. So now you can go ahead and just kind of clean everything up. Everything's going to be a little dusty. If you look in here, I don't know if you can tell, but there are some pins or protrusions on each side of the caliper. And what those are for is for the brake pad right here. Those rest into here. So you basically push the brake pad in as far as it can go, and it'll get stopped up on those pins. So that's how you know how far it needs to go. But let's go ahead and pull out the new pads and apply some of this. I have some Ate brake parts lubricant. So let's go ahead and throw some of this on. Got my new brake pads. They are Textar OEM pads. Just right here. And we're going to go and position them exactly how they are here. Just like so. So I've got my wear sensor harness. On the other side, since I only ordered one, but the other side I used a FCP brand one from FCP Euro, but I needed this pretty quick because I got to take the car in for a detail. So I ended up just ordering this from Napa so I could get it faster, and it's basically the same price as this as a FCP one, but I didn't have to pay shipping because I just shipped it to the store. So let's go ahead and get this guy on here. So I'm just going to install it. But first I'm going to verify that these are the proper length, which seems to be good. So let's go ahead and get these installed. So this just goes like so. Just goes into this little indentation here, like so. And this is the side that faces the brake pads. So just stick this in here until it clicks in. Okay. Sure that's seated in there. Okay. Now we can go and install this one. Go in the same way. Okay. Clipped in. Okay. So these are now ready to be installed. Okay. First we're going to go ahead and lube up some of this stuff. So I'm basically just going to lube up the pins right here. We'll just throw a little bit of lube on there. You can try to clean them off if you want. But really not going to make a big difference. And I'm also going to throw some lube on on the pistons. You don't want to get it on the rubber seal, just get it on the actual metal part. Can be kind of hard to fit your finger in here, but just do your best. So let's go ahead and throw this brake lube on here. That should be good. I'm actually going to go ahead and lube up where they're going to be sitting. So right here and here, here and here. If you want, you could try and match where the lube would be on here, but it'd be kind of difficult. Not necessary since we kind of already lubed the pins, or since we already lubed the pistons, but it won't hurt. Just kind of ballpark it. It's not going to hurt any. Add lube to these guys, just like so. That should be plenty.
Now we can go ahead and throw the pads in. Hopefully you push your pistons in as far as they can go so the pad should slide right in. Make sure the brake pads are fully seated against the pins in the caliper. Again, make sure your sensors are fully seated in the pad. Now we can go ahead and throw our spring clip in. Again, I like to clean these off and throw some lubricant on them as well. Pay attention to the orientation. This is going to be the bottom side as it has the clip for the wear sensor harness. I also like to add some lubricant to the brake pads as well. You don't need much lubricant here, just where the pads would be resting. Don't forget to lubricate the area on the clip where the retaining pin rests as well. Once you've lubed up your spring clip, go ahead and get it into place. Be sure to route this correctly under the wear sensor harness. Once you have the spring clip in place and the pads are pushed up against the caliper pins, you can grab your retaining pin. Remember that the side with the cotter pin goes towards the inside of the wheel well. We're going to add some lubricant to the pin as well, basically on the entire pin to help it slide into place. You can always clean up the excess later.
Once the retaining pin is lubricated, go ahead and insert it into the caliper.
Don't forget to push the spring clip in and ensure the retaining pin goes over the spring clip. Make sure you have your retaining pin rotated so that the hole for the cotter pin is accessible. You can use a pick to rotate the retaining pin. You essentially want the two holes to line up side by side so that the cotter pin is horizontal in the caliper. Push the retaining pin all the way into the caliper until the end of it is flush. You can give it a couple of hits with a hammer to make sure it's fully seated. Slide your cotter pin into the retaining pin and make sure it is secure. Then wipe off any excess grease. Now we can finish routing the wear sensor harness. Go ahead and secure the wire between the sensors into the tab on the spring clip. Now we can route the rest of the harness. Secure the harness to the plastic clip that is attached to the brake fluid hardline. Then route it around the strut and between the sway bar and link. Go ahead and plug the harness into the main harness on the wheel hub and secure it by pushing down the metal retaining clip. Now you can attach the harness to the holder on the back of the strut or steering knuckle. Last but not least, we will stick the harness into the groove on the caliper. And that's it. Now you can repeat the same process on the other side. After that, you can mount your wheels up and start the bedding process. Techstar recommends basically just driving normally for a couple of 100 miles. I don't drive the car enough, so I essentially just drive normally for a bit, and then once the brakes get warmed up, I'll do several consecutive hard stops from 60 to 20 miles per hour, and usually that does the job. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully that was helpful. Peace out.